Alright, in this lecture we try to find an answer for the question, are movie collections, or also called the franchises like Toy Story or the Avengers, more successful than standalone movies? And first of all, let's have a look at the column belongs to collection. And here we either have missing values for movies that do not belong to a franchise or collection, and for those movies that belong to a franchise, we have the franchise here. So for instance, Toy Story collection or Grumpy Old Man collection. And now in the next step, let's create the new column franchise that indicates whether a movie belongs to a collection or not. So we check in the column belongs to collection with the method not_NA, whether the movie belongs to a collection or not. And we get here truth and false. So let's create the column and let's have a look here. So for instance, the first Toy Story movie belongs to a collection, and here we have a true. And then we can also check how many movies belong to a collection with value counts. So in total we have over 44,000 movies, and only 4,400 belong to a franchise or collection. And the other 40,000 are standalone movies. Now, to answer our question whether franchises are more successful than standalone movies, in the next step we are going to compare franchise movies and non-franchise movies in terms of mean revenue, mean budget, popularity, and so on. And the hypothesis is that franchise movies are more successful, as it's pretty likely that people who watched the first two Toy Story movies also pay for the third Toy Story movie. So having a successful franchise in place is probably the best marketing campaign for upcoming movies, and therefore franchises could be kind of a cash cow where producers make lots of money, even if the quality of the second, third, or fourth movie itself is questionable. So we have to group all movies into two groups, franchise and non-franchise. And we can do this with the very powerful method group by. And we group the data frame df by the column franchise. And so to say, we create two data frames, one with the franchises and one with the non-franchises. And then we have to apply an aggregation function like mean, sum, or median on a specific column. And first of all, we are interested in the average revenue, and therefore we select here the revenue in million US dollar, and we want to have the average or the mean revenue. So let's have a look here. And here we get for franchise movies an average revenue of 165 million, and for standalone movies only a revenue of 44 million. Next, let's also check the return on investment or profitability. And first of all, we have to create the column return on investment. So it's the revenue divided by the budget. And then again, we group by df by the franchise column and calculate the medium return on investment. We've already seen that there are some extreme outliers in ROI, and therefore it makes more sense to calculate the median and not the mean. And obviously, franchises are more profitable as on average they return 3.71 times the budget, and standalone movies only 1.62 times the budget. And therefore we can conclude that franchises are indeed more successful in terms of revenue and profitability. Now next, let's analyze the budget, and we calculate the mean or the average budget. And obviously franchises have a significantly higher budget with on average 38 million. So we could argue that franchise movies are more profitable and have less risk, and therefore investors are willing to invest more into franchise movies, and this leads to higher budgets. Next, let's also analyze the average popularity. And also here we can see that franchise movies are more popular. So if you already know the first and the second movie of a franchise, then it's pretty likely that you also know the third movie. Last but not least, let's analyze the average rating or the vote average. And here we can see that the average rating for franchise and non-franchise movies are pretty equal, so around about 6. And assuming that the average rating is an indicator for the quality of the movie, we could conclude that franchise movies do not have a higher quality than standalone movies, but nevertheless they are more popular and more successful at the box office. And finally, we can also get all aggregations here at a glance with the egg method. And here we can define for each and every column which aggregation we want to have. So for instance, for the budget, we could define that we want to have the mean, and also for the revenue, for the vote average, for the popularity, then the median return on investment. And finally, we can also get here the mean vote count. So let's have a look. And here we have all metrics at a glance. So franchises have a higher budget, a higher revenue, a higher popularity, and also a higher return on investment and more votes. But there seems to be no real difference in terms of average rating or quality of the movie. Alright, thanks for watching, and see you also in the next lecture. Bye.